Yee! Happy Thursday tea time, April 23rd. Let's do this. All you beautiful faces. So let's see. On the call today, I invited my amazing friend Kim, who everyone wave to Kim. She's been a part of the Abundance Project like longer than me and took some time away and is back. And I just was like, why don't you come on to tea time and come hang out with us and meet some of the gals. So she's one of my sidelines. So she's amazing. She lives in Florida. And there's Kaya's back. Okay. So today we were going to talk about kind of daily method of operations and finding something that works for you and based on your goals and what you desire within this business. And I'm definitely going to get some support on this from Sophia, because we've been going back and forth on it quite a bit. But the biggest thing for me is knowing where we're headed, right? Knowing kind of why we're showing up, what we want to do with this. And the best part about it is that it can change. So something that is inspiring you with this business right now, it might not be the same in a few months. Maybe right now you're like, I just want to get to QSC, I just want to get to SC, or I just want to get a certain number, my paycheck, or I just want to hang out with really cool people, like whatever it is. Or maybe I just want to build a customer base and really help people get healthy. Like whatever it is, it's fine. Just being clear on what that is really, really important. And if you haven't taken the time to do that, highly recommend, whether that's just sitting down with your journal. And I do voice memos a lot, and I'll just like talk to myself until I get more clear on my goals or what I like, my next steps, whatever that is. And so maybe we can go around and share kind of what the vision that we have, and a really great way to also cast that vision, of course, like showing up on calls like this and on team call, and then eventually when we're allowed to hang out in person, like going to conference and hearing people's NMD speeches and things like that, you start to see what's really possible. And with that being said, I also wanted to remind all of you that it is virtual conference this week. So you should have an email one from our team and then another one from Juice Plus Live with information on how to access all of that. And it's starting today. It's basically like Netflix for Juice Plus. So you'll have access to all of these pre-recorded videos for 2 weeks. And a lot of them are like just 20-minute talks. So we can figure more about that. We can figure out more on that in a little bit. But definitely just getting inspired by people that have done this business for an extended period of time and what it has made possible for them. So yes, it's the Juice Plus and Chill. I love that. That's so good. I guess before we get into daily method of operation, I'd love to kind of hear from some of you, and you don't have to know right now, and that's fine, but like, what is your vision with this business and what it could create for you and what it could create for the people that you love? So anyone that feels called to share, feel free to unmute yourself and start chatting. I don't want to have to call on you, but I might.
I'll go.
Okay, yeah.
So I got started a couple weeks ago when like the whole pandemic was also starting. And I think from the start, my goal was to spread abundant health, right? It was a time when a lot of people are scared or concerned about their health. And so I've been doing a lot of outreach to people who I know specifically are aware of their health and or who are maybe really scared of the pandemic. Like my uncle and a lot of people in my family are freaking out. So I mean, and I just started, so obviously my family is going to be my first target. But yeah, and I have a friend who has an autoimmune disease. I have a cousin who has an autoimmune disease. So reaching out to them also, so I think right now the goal is to spread the idea that that there's this tool that can help you increase your immunity during this time. And I think that's been a good selling point for me is, hey, like all this crazy, scary stuff is going on right now. Like, let's focus on our immune systems. Here's a way that we can do that. So it's kind of been what I've been bouncing off of, unfortunately, but you know.
Right, but it's an opportunity to serve and to help people. And I mean, I think there's a big difference between leveraging fear and also
Yeah,
being a solution for someone that might be in fear.
right.
Um,
Exactly.
so and I'm going to use you as an example so we can go back and forth. And this is for all of you to think about. So we have this vision of like, okay, how am I serving people and their customers, right? Starting to paint that vision of a team and a community, and what does that look like for you to have other faces on a screen and hosting your own call. So like starting to kind of build the building blocks to a grander vision. And like, you don't have to have a vision of having a giant organization and being NMD or anything like that. And some of you don't even know what that means. But to start to kind of allow yourself to dream a little bit bigger within that. Okay, so I know how I'm serving on a smaller scale right now with my customer base, but what is this bigger impact, this emotional impact that I get to create within my greater community? So for example, yesterday, Sophia, Caitlin, and I were on the phone and we were talking about, okay, like how can we bring tower gardens into communities, into schools, and how can we provide Juice Plus for families that are in need? Like, what is the greater picture here? Like, how can I serve at a greater scale? How can I use Juice Plus as a vehicle to serve people and to create an impact? And like, just allow yourself to dream a little bit there. And even if you don't know if it's possible, you don't know how, that's totally fine. Like, that's why we have this business. This is why we have this company, because if you have the vision and you are dedicated to it, like the how will figure itself out. Right. So yeah, tangent life over here. Bear with me. So Danielle, what are you doing? What are the daily activities, weekly activities that you're doing to pursue that kind of goal with your customers?
Um, hmm. So I'm still kind of getting in my like groove here and still kind of honing in on my language. The scripts have been super helpful, but I'm, trying to create my own scripts and like make each one super personal. And again, like it is a sensitive time to be like reaching out to people and in this way. And yeah, so okay, my routine. Let's see. I have a Trello because you told me to make a Trello. So I have like my list of people. And I've been making a list of like 3 or 4 maybe people who I want to target that week. And I start that initial conversation. So, but I have one person per day. So I spread it out through the week. And so in the morning, I start that initial conversation. I'll send them some materials if they say they're interested. Then I'll get on the phone with them. And this like may happen like only a few times. It's only happened in like all in one day. So mostly it happens over like a couple days. And then I'll get on a Zoom or a FaceTime with them and go from there. I haven't really hosted any events yet where I brought all these people together, but that's a goal. I want to do that next month for sure. Do some sort of like Zoom happy hour. And I also think that it's going to be easier to have events now online because now people are so used to doing Zoom happy hours. So now it's like not weird to like be like, hey, let's bring all these random people together and talk about stuff, So I feel like yeah, I don't know. I'm still getting in my groove.
I love it. Does anybody
Yeah.
else want to do a Zoom happy hour and invite to that? Would that be fun? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And so I want you guys to leverage the tea time chat to be like, yo, I have this idea of doing a Zoom happy hour. Like, who wants to host it with me? Like, realize that you guys are all on the same team here, right? So you can collaborate and work together to pursue these ideas. And like, I don't need to be a part of it. I mean, I'm happy to support, but you guys get to roll with this and make it your own. And I love what Danielle said about keeping it simple, reaching out to one person a day. And it doesn't need to even be about Juice Plus. It can just be like, oh, I haven't talked to this person in like 10 years. I just want to start a conversation and rebuild that relationship. And so that kind of, and I want to hear from Sophia here in a second as well, because the more simple you can make this, the better. And to be very clear on like, okay, this week I'm going to reach out to one person a day. This week I want to get on 3 connection calls. Like, I want to talk to 3 different people on the phone. That's a goal of mine. And then checking in with your upline, telling them, these are my goals for the week. And like telling them on Monday, telling them on Sunday night, whatever that is. And then on Friday, like, let's circle back and see how that went for you.
I have a question.
Yeah, baby.
So I've just reached out to like my mom and my roommate so far. And like, I really want to reach out to like my grandma, and like other people in my family, but I don't talk to my grandma very often, but she's a super health nut. And so like what in anybody's experiences have like, I'm afraid of reaching out to her and being like, oh, she's just reaching out to me to sell me something. Like, how do you go about building a relationship, or like, what words do you use to be like, okay, I'm not just trying to sell you something, I'm also trying to like build a relationship here?
Who wants to answer that?
I kind of actually experienced the same thing with my aunt and my uncle. They live in New York. I have no relationship with them, like, at all. And first I reached out and it's like, at the timing kind of lined up nicely because it was Passover. So it's like, happy Passover. Like, it was an excuse to reach out to them. Because I would have wished them a happy Passover anyways. And then I said, how are the kids? And like, how's the new house? And like, what are you doing to stay busy during quarantine? You know, like, you can start all of that. And then they'll ask you the same thing. Like, what have you been doing to stay busy? And you just like, oh, I just got involved in this thing. Like, actually, I think you'd be really interested in it. Would you like some more info? You know, because you're a healthy person. And kind of, like Hannah said, it's like starting off the conversation by just starting to build that relationship first before you even just like catch up. Yeah.
They're going to ask you what you've been up to.
Yeah.
And anybody else have anything to add to that?
Thank you.
Yeah, babe.
I think something that I like to do is just like, honestly, with some people, if you know she's really healthy, just be like, I just joined this health collective. I'm super excited about it. You were one of the first people that popped into my head because I know how passionate you are about health and wellness. And I really want to share this with you because I know that it excites me so much. And I'd love to like just toss back and forth ideas on like what this is about and or whatever, you know, like, and get excited about her passion for this, you know, or for wellness.
You got to make it about them.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Love that. Cool.
Last thing I'll say is that like during this quarantine time is awesome to reach out to people and just be like, I just want to see how you're doing, because you genuinely do. And just say, I just want to check on you, see how you're doing during this. Like, everybody's home, so I've just been like utilizing this time to, you know, call family and friends and see what's up, and then just slide it on in there.
Then you're all juice plussing and chilling.
Yeah.
I will say I've had a couple like weird instances where I do spend time like building that, like rebuilding the relationship with them, asking them how the kids are, asking them how life is and what they're up to during quarantine, and then they ask me, and then I tell them about Juice Plus, and then it's ghost. You know, like, come on. You know,
I think I'm worried about like them being like, okay, the only reason that she's reaching out is because she's doing this, and like that's the truth, really. Like, you know, like most of the few time I feel like I'm just gonna be like, I never text my grandma. I never call my grandma. I call her on her birthday, and that's like January 1st, and like that's it. Like that's it. So I'm just afraid of like, I guess, just the way it's going to reflect on like, I guess, me.
But know that it is your grandma, right? Like she is gonna want to support you, even though like you guys don't chat every day, right? I mean, I don't talk to my grandma every day.
No, I'm the same way. I carry a lot of guilt about like reaching out to people, like even my aunts who I know need it and who I genuinely like think it will help them. Like I'm just afraid to reach out because I know that they're gonna think that I'm just trying to sell them something, because I know that their way that their mind works. So I just know that that's how it's gonna come off. So I haven't like reached out because it's just like almost like it's not even like in my head I've told myself like it's not even worth like putting some like a scratch on our relationship, you know.
Right.
So like, is it, you know what I mean? So as much as I know that they'll benefit from it and I believe so much in the stuff, like they're just gonna be like, all right, Alex just wants our money. So I definitely struggle with that too.
Better knowledge to this topic because I've got some experience on this. So I started this business back in 2017. If you go into the conversation with that mindset, that's what they're going to receive. Don't go into the conversation with that mindset. Go into the conversation with, how's this person doing? Like, genuinely put yourself in their shoes, like, and think, how, like, what are they going through? What's their job? Like, what are their finances like? What's their personal life like? Put yourself in their shoes and eliminate Juice Plus from the equation. Don't even think about it. Just focus on them, because it'll be really apparent if you're trying to sell them something, because that's what's on your mind. So if that's not in your head when you're having the conversation, they're not going to receive that. They're just going to receive genuine, authentic love. And that's all you really want to do, because when you're starting these conversations, you genuinely want to know how they're feeling. Like, don't go into it thinking, okay, I'm going to make a sale. Because you're probably going to have to talk to that person a few more times before you even bring up Juice Plus. If it's not a close like relative, you know, you don't want to bring it up right away if it's not organic. Like, don't try and fit it into the conversation if it's not happening like naturally. If that makes sense. Does that help?
Yeah.
And the other thing I'm going to build on that with Kim is like the resistance that you expect is the resistance that you will receive. If you expect that someone's going to think you're trying to sell something, they're going to think you're trying to sell something. Like, you're setting yourself up there. So however you can get back into your original intention, which should be building a relationship. Because maybe there's a reason, I mean, like, there are definitely reasons that I'm not close with my aunts, but I know this will help them. So I'd like to hear what's going on in their health and in their life. Like, I do care about them. They're human beings. They're my family, you know? So get back to that original intention. And if you have those little creepy crawlers of like, they're going to shut this down because I'm trying to sell something. Like, how can you let go of that and be like, no, they're going to receive this well. Alex, meditate on it. Like, visualize them accepting this as something that they need and something that they want.
Yeah, I've like through this, I'm just like, I hold so much guilt over money. Like, I hold so much guilt over money, so that's like really stopped me from like reaching out to people so much. So that's like something but it's good. I know I need to work on it, but it's just like, it definitely is something that like hurts my business for sure.
So do you think that Juice Plus is really expensive?
I think $75 a month is a big number for someone to hear.
So how much is it a day?
$250. That's how I always break it down. And I'm always like, you know what? If you go out to a bar, you spend $40. If you have $40 to spend on a bar twice a month, then, and you don't have 75 like that to spend on your health, then you need to redo your priorities. And like, I know that. And then I know that. And I do believe that and feel that deep, but there's just something in me that like holds guilt about like talking to people about money. So
I was just gonna say, when you like shift the mindset to saying like I can't afford it to it's not a priority, it totally like that's what I say to myself when I'm like I can't afford that. I'm like, you know what, I actually can. I just need to make it a priority instead of going out to eat that one time. And that's what's really relaxed
Yeah.
me about a monthly payment.
Mhm.
You know,
I had like a whole post that I like went to like do on my like story about just like breaking down like the numbers and things like that. And then I was just like, all right, there's like so much like not anger coming from this, but like so much like wake up, like you have the money. Like you have the money, you're just choosing not to because you don't want to play this lumps, like you see the lump sum of $300 or $75 a month and you're like, I don't have that. But like, I just want to be like, if you can buy like drugs and alcohol and like go out to eat 3 times a week, like you have this money. That's what I want to say to some of my friends. Like Caroline, we've talked about this. Like our friends are like in that stage, you know, in their life when they're just like spending all their money out in bars, which is totally cool, whatever. But like, don't tell me that you want to be healthy. And then that's what it was like. It was like me judging. So I was like, all right, let me stop. And then I need to like reevaluate my whole.
you know, something that is really important to keep at the forefront of your mind is like, why am I doing this? How many people do I want to help in my lifetime? Like, to be honest, it's so easy and I do it every day. Like literally I have a little voice in my head every day that I just choose to not listen to because it's a choice, right? I can choose to allow that voice to run my business, or I can remember, why am I doing this in the first place? I'm a healer. That's what I do hands-on. That's what I do. That's why I'm attracted to this business, because it heals people from the inside out. And when you think about it that way, and when you remember that if you, it's like, I don't know if you guys all know this story about my mom, but she has a lot of autoimmune problems. And it makes me want to cry that this product helped her this much, but she has Sjogren's and it attacks your liquid glands. So for 20 years, she's had dry eyes, dry mouth. Her hair has been like literally like so dry that it looks like it's going to break in half. And about, 6 weeks into Juice Plus, I think, she texted me and she was like, hey, remind me to tell you about my eyes. And I was like, okay, that's kind of like mysterious. Can you just tell me? Like, that's. And so she was like, I have tears in my eyes for the first time in 20 years. Okay. Like, you don't know who this product is going to help this much. And that's what keeps me going every single day, because we have to remember that's why we're here. We all came into this business because we either were personally affected by this product. People comment on my mom's hair and tell her how beautiful her hair looks. No one said that to her in like her so long. She's been like, it's just like, and maybe not everyone is this affected by this stuff, but at the end of the day, everyone that's taking it from me in my business has told me that they've had more energy. Like, remember why you're doing this, okay? Like, yes, we all have those thoughts. I have those thoughts every single day. I'm not lying, like I do. However, I know that my purpose in this business is so much bigger than those thoughts and those limiting beliefs of my own self, right? And the reason why I love this business so much is it requires me to keep myself in line and to work on myself every day, and the fact that you're even acknowledging like your things, Alex, like how cool is that this business is asking you to work on that in this way, right? Like, not only is this product like helping people heal in ways that they don't even know, maybe it prevents them from getting cancer later, and we will never know if that happened, but like it could. I think it's going to prevent a lot of health stuff for me, so why would I not want to share that? So for me, the reason why I'm telling you this is because that is my bigger picture. That is my why. What is your why? Write it down. Look at it every single day. Look at it before you talk to someone. Feel your why before you even think about reaching out, like yeah, some people are going to say no, and that is okay too. It's like we have to also become okay with being rejected, which is something that I don't like to hear no. I've never heard. I've hated no my whole life. I'm a Taurus. I'm stubborn. Like, no is not like in my favorite word. However, in this business, I brush it off. And I'm like, all right, these people know who I am. I'm not like some fraud. If I'm thinking that I'm a fraud, then something inside of me is unworked with right now. So I'm just going to keep working on myself every freaking day because that's what this requires. And it sometimes is annoying as heck. But at the same time, this journey is so powerful. And you never know who you're going to help. Like, look at this team. Look at how many people all of us have helped, right? Think about like my customers, Caroline's customers, Alex's customers. That's us three in one line. How many people we're helping right now? That's massive, right? So I encourage you guys to remember the bigger picture because the bigger picture can easily be lost. And that's when we kind of get into that downward spiral. The big picture is what keeps me going. The big picture is what this product is, how it feels, what it's done for the people that I know, and how many people I want to help in my lifetime. And how many people say no? That's their loss. Really, it is. I mean, it honestly is. And if they can see me as someone that's just in an MLM, that's fine. It's their loss. It really is. And I'm not here to convince anyone about the business or anything like that, you know? It's not your job. Your job is to share something that you love. And like just keep believing, you know? I just went for a run. I'm amped.
Mic drop.
No, but since I'm speaking, I was going to talk about, I might as well go into that. Also making realistic goals for yourself. Like, don't put so much on your plate that you can't actually do what you are making your goal, like, because that's going to be discouraging as well. Think about, like, I just had this idea, but it's kind of a cool thought because I need this too. Like, what if we tried to find all the encouraging things of the business, like cutting out all the discouraging parts, like making too big of goals that we can't reach in a week and then we feel like we failed. That is the number one thing we should not be doing. Absolutely not, because we're going to put pressure on ourselves to be salespeople, and that's not what we are. We're helpers. So, like, make a realistic goal that actually feels like something you can attain, right? And allow one customer to feel like a huge success, right? You don't need 10 to feel like you're winning. Okay? Like, I've been working with that too because I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I'm like a full sender in things, and it's kind of like it's an advantage, but it's also a disadvantage because I can easily feel like I'm failing if I'm not like going at this pace, right? So I have to just know that, like, whatever growth looks like, whether that's a teammate getting a customer, even if you didn't get one that day but your teammate did, hell yeah, it's growing, like, it doesn't happen overnight. And it's like a lot of the most successful people that we know in the business or that we've heard talking, it took them 3 to 5 years to get to like a really big place, right? But the one thing they all have in common is consistency, whether that's the one person a day, 3 people a week, whatever consistency means to you. If you're touching your business every week, it's going to grow. Even if you have 3 people a week and all 3 of them said no that week, that's still output in your business. And then the next week, maybe all 3 people say yes. We literally just cannot control the outcome. And that surrendering to not having control is also a really big human condition that we have to work on daily, right? So, like, don't feel like a failure if someone says no. Be proud of yourself that you put it out there because you gave one more person an opportunity to feel better, and that's their choice, so small goals that are attainable, things that feel good. And then, like, praising yourself even if you didn't get anyone that week. Being like, I love me because I tried. Every day, every week. I tried. That is enough. Okay? So, like, and think about like where do you actually want to go in your business? That's something that I think when we enter, like we are really excited, and I just think that having realistic, like, I don't know, maybe QSC is your goal because you get 10% commission, you get a $300 bonus check, and it's a pretty sweet place to be. Maybe you want to go big and you want to go to like QNMD or NMD or SC or whatever it is for you. Like, have something that you can visualize towards as well. Like, it's like whenever I'm going towards something, I have to be able to see in my head what that thing is, right? And put energy towards that momentum to get there, even if I'm not like, doing big action. So figure out where you want to go, at least for right now, and have a goal to work towards. Maybe it's a mini goal, put energy into your business somehow every day, whether that's like calling up your upline or your downline. That's also momentum, right? It's not all about reach outs. It's about talking, being on the meetings, having one-on-ones with people, supporting your downline, reaching out to your customers that you already have, seeing how they're feeling. Like, that's all. Like, it's not just about reach outs, it's about keeping your business alive. So there's so many things we can be doing, and I think that we might all feel a lot better when we can actually talk to people in person again, because I personally have been battling a block of like technology. Like, I know that I'm just like, when I'm in person with people, they freaking want to try it because I'm like, yes, and through the screen, it's like, I'm serious. Like, I work in an athletic club. People are like, what are you doing? I'm like, this stuff is amazing. You got to try it. It's easy in person, but messaging people on the computer, that takes away, or it feels like it's taking away authenticity. So it's something I've been working on. It's like, how can I stay authentic through text? Like, that's another challenge. But I'm not going to go on this rant any longer. You guys get the point.
Passion. Hashtag passion. So I'm just going to share my key takeaways from that and from our conversation so far. Somebody else's priorities are not your problem. You're not here to convince someone that they need to change their priorities. They will change them when they're ready. Like, you've planted the seed, you've done your job, love on them hard, and they'll come around. AKA most people I've talked to in this business. Don't prejudge. Don't go into conversations assuming what their answer is going to be, what they need or what they don't need. You do not know someone's deep, dark truth, right? The difference between output and outcome. You can control your output, you cannot control the outcome. So focus on creating output goals, meaning how many people am I going to talk to? How many people am I getting on the phone with? Like, those types of things, okay? And then focusing on income producing activities. So there's this is something I wanted to add on from what Sophia said, the difference between working in your business and working on your business. So working in your business is talking to your upline, talking to your downline, talking to your sideline, talking to your customers. And those things are all really freaking important. And yes, make time for that, but working on your business and on your growth is the harder one, and it's the stickier one, and it's the uncomfortable one. And that is why when you have the accountability and you're like, yo, Sophia, I'm going to talk to like 3 or 4 people this week. Awesome. Thank you for telling me. Like, you have something to go back and forth on. You have someone to keep you accountable, and also can help you. Tell us what you're struggling with. Like, Alex was so honest. Savannah was so honest about like how she was feeling about having these conversations. Tell us what you're feeling so we can address it, and like basically stomp on your limiting beliefs into the ground until they're dust. Okay.
That's also something that's massive, is like, I feel like it could be really easy to just be like, whatever, and then just kind of fall off. You literally have Hannah and I are willing to do anything for you guys. I hope you guys know that. Like, if you guys are on my team, I will fucking send for you if you're ready to go with me. Okay? Like, I know that I'm coming in hot, but like, I'm serious. This is what this team is. This is what this is about. Like, it's about teamwork. It's about support. It's about like caring about each other and wanting each other to succeed. Okay? Like, I tell everyone that I bring on, where do you want to go? I will help you get there. I will. I promise you. If you can do the work with me, I mean, I can't do it for you, but I'll help you. And I know that I can support you doing it, you know? But we have to like allow each other in, okay? Like, call me, meet with Hannah, you know? Like, we want this for everyone. And Caroline too. I mean, you know, like, we have so many people here that can help each other. So I love that you guys always do like transparently say things. But you know, if you're having a bad day, like, box us. Like, don't hesitate. You're not alone. And that little spiral of self thought can just take you to a place by yourself where it's really hard to come out of, you know? And it's unnecessary because it's holding you back from maybe like helping someone. And it's okay. It's important. I go through them all the time. I call Hannah and I'm like, in the beginning I was like, Hannah, I don't know, this is not for me. Like, I just don't know. You know, I'm having like really weird thoughts about this, but like, we are here because she literally lifted me up. And now where I am, like, you know, I just, like, I couldn't have done it without her. I utilized her, right? She's freaking awesome. She's trained me. And you guys are awesome. And yeah, I had something else to say, but I lost it. So
We are on one today, so
I know.
like on one.
Well, I feel like it's just important to remember, like, this is an opportunity, and and I know everyone knows that, but it's like, keep your eye on the prize. Never lose the prize, even with your little, like, this. This is kind of like my own, how I see it. Like, if I'm going like this, I still am like, okay, here it is, you know? And that's okay. I can waver to get there, but like, I'm never going to lose sight of where I'm trying to go, you know? And where I'm going is a direct reflection of how many people I'm actually helping. And that's like number one.
So I wanted to throw this in here. Kim knows this, but and I think it was mentioned on Team Call. Oh my gosh. So we used to do a program called Image, and I won't get too much into it, but one of the biggest concepts is you're at point A and you're getting to point B. What is your B? Know your B so strongly that you don't even blink when I ask you what it is. You know, like that clear vision and like, no, just being able to see where you're headed without hesitation. It does not have to be in this business, by the way. It could be freaking anything. Like, that will serve you so well. Just like, you wake up, B, I know where I'm headed. And if that's the one thing I took from Image, like Kim can probably speak to that. I mean, Kim had like a massive transformation from that experience. But like, again, it speaks to, like, if you are in this community, like, these lessons that you learn, they apply to everything else in your life. The confidence that you gain, the ability to speak publicly. Like, public speaking is a massive hurdle for people. This business, if you want to grow, like, you're going to be talking in front of people all the time. And it's awesome. Actually, Kim, would you mind sharing a little bit about like what this business has done for you? Like, and this doesn't necessarily have to pertain to you, but like, think about if you gift someone with this business, how it could change their life and their confidence and everything else that they do. Yeah. Would you mind sharing?
So I think one of the biggest things this business has done for me is personal development, self-development, personal growth, whatever you want to call it. I could not speak on one of these calls when I first, like the first week of this business. Every single time when I'd have to hop on one of these calls, my heart would start racing, my armpits would get all sweaty, my voice would start really shaking, and it physically overcame me. Sometimes I still get that way. I mean, I have moments of weakness, but that's just one thing. Another thing, Alex, thank you so much for sharing about your mindset around money. I used to have the same exact mindset. And one of the biggest things this business has done in self-development has totally changed my mindset around money. And I think you've already made a big step and you don't even recognize it. The fact that you can call yourself out and say, I think I have a problem with money. I think I have an unhealthy mindset around money. The fact that you recognize that is huge. You've already made a big step right there, just recognizing that moment. Now, what's your next step? You're going to work toward changing your mindset around it. I think Hannah was mentioning working in your business, working on your business. Those are both super great, but also working on yourself. My business, when my business wasn't working for me, it's because I wasn't working for me. My brain wasn't right. I wasn't working right in my own self. Once you get yourself right, your business is going to run so much smoother because your thinking is proper and it's fluid and you're confident and you truly believe in what you're saying and what you're talking about. It's really hard to sell something if you don't believe it. If your mindsets around something are not complete or 100%, you're not going to be able to talk about it. And so for me, hands down, personal development, I'm a totally different person than I was 3 years ago. I can honestly say that inside and out. I think differently. I act differently. I overcome fear differently. If you're not, I'm not sure what you guys are using for personal development because we don't really use Image anymore. But if you're not doing something for personal development, make sure you squeeze that in there, because if you're not working on yourself, your business is not going to go anywhere.
Love it. I love you, Kim. I've missed.
Also was thinking back to what Hannah was saying about the accountability buddy. If you guys feel called to that, even if it's someone in a sideline that's not in this group, it's really powerful. Kristen is on Ariel's team. She's my accountability buddy, and we keep in touch. We basically hold each other accountable for our weekly goals, and like we're similar places in the business, so that's why we picked each other, because we kind of are like, navigating similar things. And to have someone that's kind of just like your peer that you're brainstorming with, it's also really powerful, because it kind of like, to be honest, that's why Kristen and I like took action and creating that reset. It was just ideas that we thought of together, right? Without the greater like Abundance Project group. So I think when you allow yourself to have more creativity in what you're doing, you also can expand your business to the next level by opening up, like from going to just like reach outs and follow-ups to like, how do I want to approach people on maybe a larger scale? Like, allow your wheels to start turning to get creative as well, and so that you have your own voice in your own business, right? You don't have to do it exactly the way that I'm doing it, or Hannah, or anyone else, right? So something that has really been fun for me, it's brought this whole new fun aspect to my business, is starting to think out of the box, like for myself and my community and who I surround myself with, and how I want to start to reach more people. So it's not just like so black and white and, like a funnel, right? Like there's so much more we can access, and I'm starting to really dive into that as well. So having an accountability buddy to bounce back ideas. Kristen and I, we make slides together and we share them with each other. You guys can always use those slides, but like it's kind of fun to ignite some fire in yourself with someone, and like work together in that way. So if you guys want an accountability buddy, Hannah, well, she knows everyone like sidelines wise a little bit better than I do, so maybe just talk to her and see if we can
find you somebody. It's like a mini mastermind, like have a weekly chat with someone and talk about what your struggles are. And yeah, it's brilliant. It's awesome. I'm trying to think about, so does anybody have questions on like, or concerns around creating like a consistent, I want to preface this by saying your DMO, which is like a daily method of operations, it can change week to week based on whatever else you've got going on in your life. But does anybody have questions around that or is struggling to find something that works for them consistently? Gimme. Lenny, I see you moving.
Yeah, of course I do. This week is all about painting and design.
I love it. Those are your goals.
Yeah. But yeah, like putting in like a solid, I said that I would put in like an hour a day, I think, when I started.
Mhm.
And that hour has like shifted into like team calls, tea time, and like those days are like those things only and not like fully reaching out. And then like if I get someone, I'll just think like, okay, well, now I'm just gonna work on them. Like I'm not gonna add any more. Like I just want to focus just on one at a time. And that's just what I feel like. That's just like what's been going on lately.
And are you saying that that's a problem or is that
No,
working for
no,
you?
I feel like that's just kind of like where I've been. And like there is a voice that's like, do more, be more. But then I remind myself of all these other, facets of my life that might not be like generating money right now, but it's like something that I want to commit to. So my mindset is like reminding myself not to beat myself up for not, you know what I mean?
It's massive because I mean, I do this to myself all the time. There's endless things you can do in this business. Endless. And yeah, do what works for you. Just because I'm doing something doesn't mean that you need to be doing it. And at the same time, like if you want something more, you might have to do more. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have to do less for your paycheck. It's going to be great. Putting in the foundation now.
Right.
I think that's such an awesome point, Gwen. Like, and it's a good mix. It's like working on your business and working in your business, showing up for team call, getting your mind right, and then also talking to people and nurturing those relationships. It doesn't need to be complicated. Cool. Realistic goals. Yep, that feel good. I love it. Does it feel good in your body?
Yeah, it does. And like everyone that I do talk to, it's like completely 100% heartfelt.
It's awesome. And it's very
yeah, but it's a process.
Yeah. Cool.
I'll go.
Yay.
Yeah, I've kind of been on these like same wavelengths. I actually I haven't listened to your Voxer, Hannah, but I sent Hannah a Voxer because I was like, I'm feeling a little bit burnt out with like life. And I think like to what Gwen was saying, where like you like take it in like, or what my takeaway from what Gwen said, it was like in chunks that you can like swallow. And I feel like I put a list together that I was just like, I just need to focus on like this compartment because it's like I'm feeling called to it. And right now it's kind of drafting up these like notes to some people that I think would be really great, but making sure that it's authentic. And when I send it, I like have that feeling in me that like it's like very just like vulnerable and authentic before I send it. So I've been like working. It doesn't feel like a lot of work, but I'm probably putting in like between, a few hours a day here and there, but also just sitting down and trying to draft these things and find the right time where I feel called to like send them to people. But then I think about like call 3 and working on like even last week, like that Facebook Live, and just kind of trying to figure out when I can do it and when I'm not burnt out doing it. Because last week I felt like super motivated and I could work till 7 and it was fine. And this week I feel like by 4:30 I just like want to go for a walk and not think about like my full-time job or Juice Plus. I just like need a break. So that's been my struggle. And I think it's just probably energetic changes with like quarantine and week 5 of it and whatnot. So yeah, that's what I've been struggling with. But it's helpful to hear people say that they're taking in like bite-sized chunks because it helps me realize like, okay, like go on your own pace so you don't feel burnt out.
And you might. And take that as a sign and take a step back and reevaluate and shift. I mean, I get burnt out. By Friday,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm ready to not talk to a soul.
Yeah.
But yeah, honoring your cycles too. So something that I love about this business is that you can work along with that masculine and that feminine and play with that and explore like, what does your body want and how can I nurture that and give that grace? Because a lot of the times it's just so deeply rooted in us. And I know, Caitlin, you have this as well, because I mean, of the environment in which you work, like there's a lot of masculine energy there, and like giving yourself grace to be like, what does the feminine part of me need right now?
Yeah.
To walk and to like unplug. That's what's going to serve you on a greater scale.
Yeah.
Oh, we love you. Bye. I love you, Kirsten. Yeah, and yeah, your moon cycle is massive too. Yeah, where are you in your moon cycle right now, Kate? I wonder.
Are you talking about my period?
Yeah.
I'm on it.
Yeah, duh, you just want to chill.
Yeah, that too.
Honor it. Yeah, that's exactly
too.
why. And I will say, like, there's not always going to feel like the right time. Sometimes you just have to rip the Band-Aid and send that
Yeah.
message. And like, it's not going to feel great. It's going to feel sticky. Like, there's truth to that as well. Like,
Yeah, totally. It's more like I've just been working on these, like taking some scripts and making them more personalized.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm reaching out to people from far away. It's also like I have these 2 messages I want to send to these people, and maybe something comes out of it. But like, they also live on the East Coast. So when I was done with it at 7, I was like, I'm not going to send this at like 10 their time. That seems like a bad time to send it.
I totally do that sometimes. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. If I knew them better, I wouldn't care, but I don't. They're acquaintances.
Also, don't allow yourself to overthink it too, because I'm sure every woman on this screen has a tendency to overthink, and that sometimes we just get stuck in that, like, but what if this and what if that, and then like, I know Kim and I were talking about this yesterday, like overthinking to the point that I'm like, I'm not going to go to the grocery store. Like, I've been thinking about this for the past hour. Like, I don't even want to go anymore. But it shows up in this business too. But I know that you are aware of that, and
yeah,
just like knowing when to rip the Band-Aid and knowing when to like hold yourself and give yourself grace.
Yeah.
I think that too, like our intuition knows. It's just finding a way to clear the clouds around it, you know, because there are people who I've literally called and been like, look, I'm just going to be transparent with you. I think you need this and I love you. And I don't know how else to even, I'm not going to like beat around the bush, because I think that this is something that from my heart to yours, like I really would love for you to try, and this is why, you know, and that's worked too, but like it's not for everyone. And I think that getting in touch with your inner, like your inner guide, you know who you're talking to. There's a lot of more support around you than you think there is. And I think that like if you're feeling someone needs some nurturing and some love, give them love, you know. If someone's like really, there's a lot of people out there who really need like that that push too. So it's different for everyone, and I think that that's something I'm working on too, is like you know, just molding to who I'm talking to and figuring out what they need. And you know, and I have to go in a few minutes, but even though I came in with a lot of energy, like what my biggest point is, don't make goals that you can't reach. So it's not about like fully sending the ladder. It's about fully sending what you know you can do. You know what I mean? Like keep yourself inspired. Inspire yourself by setting goals that you can actually reach. That was like kind of my whole point. So, but I love you guys.
Amazing. I'm just going to say, if you guys have more questions, obviously tea time. If you have questions about DMO or want to share it with everybody, do that, because that's scary. I know we've got some people heading off, but maybe we end with a dance party, and if you have to log off, you have to log off. I'm going to put on some music and just, you know, move, even if that's horizontal moving. aka your arms. But I love you all so much, and thanks for all being so honest and vulnerable and open, and just keep doing that. And Kim said it best, I think, in this message here, like, it's exhausting to be that open all the time with people. Acknowledge that. Like, take care of yourself, especially right now. Yay, I love you all so much. I need to find a good song though. I'm feeling, I don't know what this is. Let's, gotta go to the,
I wanted to ask, did you guys try my sculpt class that I posted last week? Hannah, did you take my class?
I have not taken it, but I want to take it.
Take
Okay, I'm gonna cry.
It's good. I know, I was just curious if you guys had any feedback on
I did. I liked it. I got my 2
Oh,
friends to do it
good.
too.
Yay! Great. Thank
It was
you.
so fun. Whenever
Good,
you
I'm
want to
glad.
share more, I'll be a guinea pig.
Okay, totally. Actually, I do a live yoga sculpt every Friday at 2:00 Pacific time, which is 3:00 Mountain time. If I don't know if we're friends on Facebook yet, but I can invite you to the Facebook group. And yeah,
Call me.
Danielle, I wanted to ask how your
Yeah.
paper is.
how my what?
Your paper.
Oh yeah.
No.
That
It's a shit show. But I did take a week off last week and like half of this week. I touched it for the first time yesterday, just for like a little bit, but it's like I'm super passionate about my topic and my paper and the artist that I'm working on, but it's just gotten to the point where I just want it to be, so
Done.
I still got a lot of work to do. But thank you for asking.
You're amazing.
Hi guys. I'll see you later.
Bye, Kate. Love you.
Bye.
I'm putting music on. All right, let's see. There's so many songs on this playlist now. I don't even know. I'm just random. What is that?
Speak to me softly. I can be a sandpaper. Come soften the edges, and I can give you space. You could see through me, but I can see you too.
Hannah, you're breaking.
Talk to me gently. I
Real
can be a
visual
sandpaper.
song.
I can tell that lately.
You got on here. Guys, this playlist is so fire. Add to it. I love you. Bye, Alex. Bye, Savannah. Who's going to be the last standing with me? Danielle? Caroline? Hi, guys.
Hi,
Y'all
team.